one of the things we talk about is called the scratch test, right? So, if you were to go to an allergist, right, you would get scratched for pollen and ragweed and dust and everything. Well, our scratch test is really simple to try and go 30 days with zero sugar, okay? And then possibly 60, 30 or 60 or 90 days, but to see how you feel, to see how you look, to see if there's any weight loss, to see if your skin is a little bit better, to see if the brain fog doesn't clear up. And most adults have never done this since they were a baby, okay? Probably in the womb, but they've never really tried to see what their body is like, what the response of their body is with no sugar for 30 or 60 or 90 days. And that little scratch test, that little experiment, if you will, that little N1 experiment is so valuable to people when I've never seen anyone get to 90 days and actually go back to sugar. Now, may slip a little bit, but they we have really effectively goofed up their sugar use forever because weight loss is very hard to hide, and you don't even need to exercise. If you truly stick to this detox that we talk about, you'll never, it just won't go back. I mean, it's kind of scary, really. Yeah. But most people can't do it. That's the hard part. And we'll get into why they can't do it in a few minutes, I'm sure. But it's like if I tell you stop eating steak, no problem. I stop broccoli, no problem. But when it gets to taking people's sugar away, they go through these weird withdrawals, basically. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I did a lot of brain tapping in that time frame to help counterbalance the detoxing, from the sugar.
Okay.
But let me tell you, my personal results of being sugar-free for those 30 days was I lost a lot of my belly fat. That was really a big thing. And the brain fog, that was huge in the clarity of thought and the brain fog. So, I can't agree more that we all need to be sugar-free and not just for 30 days.
Yeah.
I know you talk a lot about why sometimes these little detox things like this don't work.
Right.
But let's talk about the why it's so hard for people to get off of sugar.
Yeah, sure. No, great question. And the reason is really scientifically, I think just coming into light now, right? Like there's 12-step groups of people who anecdotally have figured this out, but it does require 100% abstinence for a time period just to kind of reset your body, right? But for your folks that don't know, the table sugar molecule is divided half fructose and half glucose, right? Okay. And we've been talking about the effect of glucose on the body, the diabetes and the weight gain, the belly fat and the, that kind of stuff. But very few people until recently, last 5 years, when the science has exploded, the brain science has exploded on fructose, right? And so fructose affects the nucleus accumbens, the dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, GABA, even your adrenal glands are affected. And most people don't realize that they're not looking for a sweet taste in their mouth. What they're looking for is a dopamine hit or another dopamine hit to avoid the withdrawals, right? They're looking to feel that elevated feeling just a little bit longer. And the problem is when you get to be an adult, really you're just fighting off withdrawals. You're just ingesting just to stay even. You're not, so you don't go and you're not a little bit depressed and you're not a bit tired and you're not hungry and lethargic and hangry and not motivated. And when people kind of grasp it, when they split apart the idea that this is not about the food, I'm going to say this probably 3 or 4 times during this, it's not about the food. It really is getting off. Yeah, sure, you got to eat whole food. I mean, that's the given, right? You can't ingest sugar. But it really is to think about, to journal out, to understand that you're really looking for a dopamine elevated hit when you have those cravings for the sugar, right? And when you're having the withdrawals. And so one of the things I like about podcasts is that, Amy, is it takes about an hour or 45 minutes or 30 minutes. It takes time. We don't have something like Meat is Murder or Friends Don't Let Friends Drive Drunk. It takes a little bit of time to set it up, to talk about the history, to talk about the fructose, to talk about before people really kind of get everything and piece it all together. I mean, they kind of know that sugar's not that great for them, but they don't really know why they can't just say, I don't want to do it, and then actually succeed for 30 or 60 days. They always seem to be drawn back, and that's what we try and flesh out.